Hello, my name's Andy. Welcome to episode 90 of Keeping Water. Now, this episode is going to be a little bit of a cheat episode, really. I was trying to think what to do for an episode to, one, reveal the competition winners, and two, to try and find some content that isn't going to be in the summer review video coming out in a few weeks. And, well, I couldn't really think of anything. But what I thought I'd do is put right probably one of my biggest failings as a YouTuber, and that is that I don't reply to comments on my videos consistently. And I don't really know why that is. Sometimes I have a bit of a flurry and I'll get it done, but by and large I'm not very good at it. So what I thought I'd do instead is have a look at some of the comments that have gone unreplied and reply to them now. So on this wonderfully hot day, I'm going to sit inside and have a look at some of your unreplied comments. Now, because there's quite a few, and because I wasn't sure who's to reply to and who's not to reply to, I got a member of my family to find some, copy and paste them into a Word document, and I'll go through them now. First off, and this is going way back to November, in episode 70, Carp and Stress, which was really the precursor to the last video, really, when I was talking about pond design and how much that affects fish's stress. Robert Goddard says, knitting my carp is literally the last of last resorts for me personally. Training to hand feed and scrape them whilst they're happy feeding is much less stressful for both parties. And I can't really disagree with that, actually. I think that's a really valid point. I do net my fish for measuring, although I tend to only do that once a year. In fact, I haven't done it for a couple of years now. I will be doing it soon. And if they need treatment, but again, I like to sit on my hands a bit, even with things around treatment. And this is something I will talk about in my summer review video. But yeah, I can't disagree with Robert then. I think he's spot on. Low Magro, French Connection, who's an amazingly good supporter of the channel and usually always comments on my videos and is really positive, and one of the reasons I feel quite guilty that I don't always reply with comments. Anyway, Lo, brilliant as always, love the research you do. I do try to do good research when I'm doing the videos that aren't, oh look, I made a filter kind of videos, or look at my fish swimming around. I tend to choose topics that I'm interested in, that I feel I know a little bit or a lot about already, and then do some research to make sure what I think is true, and to make sure I give people what I think is correct information. And I try to do research in proper academic stuff, as well as just looking on websites and Googling and that sort of thing. I don't tend to net or measure my fish to minimize stress. That's someone who agrees with Robert. I only net if I have a problem and measure as I scrape. I totally agree with what you said at the beginning about happy fish, and the same goes with the term friendly chagoi. They're governed by their appetite. And that's a point I was making, that fish aren't really friendly. What we see as friendly sociable behavior in fish is actually them just, well, it's their appetite winning over their fear, basically. And if they start coming to you because they want to eat more than they're scared of you, and nothing bad happens, they'll do it more and more. But they're not really friendly in that sense. But I think we all know that, and friendly is a good shorthand for confident fish, really. Right, on to episode 71, which was Pond versus Predator. Excuse me whilst I just scroll the screen up. Pond versus Predator Part 1, Herons. Now, this is my most viewed video. I've had over, I think, 2,517 views, which for me is enormous. And with more views comes a bit more negativity. Now, there was one particular negative comment on this video, which I did already reply to quite robustly, I think, and I now can't find it. Whether that means the poster has deleted it, I don't know. But basically, he was saying he considered herons vermin. And I was basically saying in reply that herons are actually wonderful animals. I just wish they didn't put my fish at risk. But I think it's our responsibility as pond keepers to put in measures to keep our fish safe, which does not include hurting the herons. Anyway, Carol Lysett commented. Now, Carol, again, is a really positive and supportive commenter on my videos. Great update. Really enjoyed watching this about herons, as we get quite a few here. Live close to a nature reserve. Found one on the pond side this year, but it can no longer get to the fish. And that's right. I think the sort of things, you won't really stop herons coming in your garden. I think part of what I found in making that video is any idea you can think of to stop a heron, someone's tried and it's worked, but also someone else has tried it and it hasn't worked. The best approach, I think, other than building a house around your pond, is to stop them being able to easily get into a position from which they like to hunt, which is basically in shallow water at the sides of the pond or standing on the bank side of the pond. And if you can do that, it makes it quite hard for herons. And Stephen Lane commented, fascinating insight and well put together video. I did notice a couple of great blue heron photos. He's absolutely right. I was doing a lot of stock footage searching for both stills and video content, and he's absolutely right. But they did not detract from your excellent video. Thank you. They've defeated my first couple of attempts to stop them, and I have now 3 bamboo poles with string going to a single pole on the opposite side of the pond with fish windsocks, which have large eyes and are constantly moving in the wind. This has worked over the summer. Herons like an easy flight in and out of gardens. Absolutely right. So place a few poles around the garden makes it difficult for them. Keep the videos coming. Thank you, Stephen. Yeah, that's right. Herons have a very sort of standard way that they like to try and hunt, and they like to approach land from a distance, from even your garden, watch it, make sure it's safe, then land in your garden and then slowly approach the pond. And the more you can make that difficult for them, the better. But thanks for that, Steve. Now on to a bit closer. Now when I stopped making proper YouTube videos, I started doing a few videos on Instagram and even TikTok, and then I started making them as proper YouTube shorts as well. Although actually YouTube shorts are actually more annoying to make than TikTok videos. TikTok videos, you can have quite long periods of music, and YouTube shorts, you can only have 15 seconds. So what I found I did originally is I took some of my TikTok videos and Instagram videos and shrunk them even smaller so that I could put them on as a YouTube short with music throughout the video. Anyway, I think the first one I made was about my filter shed upgrade, and unsurprisingly, Low from Virtual Connection commented and said, a massive amount of work there, I want to see more. Well, soon, very soon. I've started doing bits of editing of all the footage I filmed when I did the filter shed upgrade, and it is all coming, honestly. Carol Ice, again, great addition to your filter house. When we see more of what you're doing, the end of this month, August, or the beginning of September, my next proper video with all of the work I've done around the pond detailed and explained. Iseni Koi, looking good, thank you very much. And ANC Koi with some thumbs up. ANC Koi, I hope you won't mind me saying this, is a very frequent commenter, maybe short on words, on high on emojis, which I don't mind at all. It's all very supportive, and he has, in my opinion, the best looking koi pond on YouTube. Maybe not the most expensive, maybe with not the most high-tech and expensive filtration, but lovely, lovely fish, including, I think, a mirror carp. I think I'm right in saying that. And yeah, I think the best looking koi pond on YouTube. Anyway, my next short video was a video called Mugs Game. And what it basically was is I got the stickers, and the stickers that are in the competition that I made in last month's video. Was it last month's video? I can't remember how long ago it was, but in my last video anyway. And I did a kind of sort of tongue-in-cheek mick take on it. Lots of people have ponds who have custom mugs and then share them around and make them competition prizes, or just send them out to people. And I do have a mug, it's rubbish, which I haven't seen it. But I did the stickers anyway, and I made a little tongue-in-cheek video, put some Among Us music in the background, and I thought I made it quite nicely actually. The chosen comment from that was from Green Machine Sweden, who again has been really supportive over the last 2 years. I've had a channel. I don't need mugs, but one of those stickers would be nice. And I think you entered the competition, so you might be getting one. I didn't say when I put the competition out, but actually it was open to anyone, anywhere in the world, because they're only stickers, so they're not super expensive to post. Now, my next short video was evening feed video, and it was just a quick video of the fish feeding, obviously in the evening, as that suggests, but just being really super confident when I'm by the pond and really, really hungry. Now, Lo from the French Connection said, so nice, Carp are really coming up now. They are. It's amazing. They've just got better. I put a video out. I think I put a video out. I made a video. I don't know if I put it out, of me sat right close to the pond. I opened the gate that's the front of the heron fence, basically, and sat right by the edge and feeding them. They were coming within sort of 18 inches of the side of the pond. So yeah, they're super confident. And Lo says she misses my videos. Well, there are some coming soon, and I have a fair amount of plans for the future of my channel as well. I'm not going to be making videos and putting videos out, at least more frequently. They are going to be few and far between, but I do have plans for videos. I think I've said before that I came into having a YouTube channel not really about my pond. It was because I wanted to make videos and put videos out and try and do clever effects and make them look good. And it wasn't really about my pond, but the pond is the best topic, really. So I'm still really keen to make videos. Koi Run, Sydney at Koi Run, again, really supportive of the channel since I started. Sean Leonard, thank you very much. He said lovely. And AC Koi, again, lots of emojis, and I thank you for that. The next video is again another short video, and it was my new intro that I'm using for my main videos when they come out. Lo says, looks good, but the intro needs to have some more videos. You're quite right. And Annalisa says, it looks fantastic. Thank you very much. I love making intro videos. My last one, my previous one, which is kind of the year 2 intro videos, was far too long for YouTube, but I really loved making it. Now, I once planned to make a how I made that video, because there is not a frame of that video that doesn't have some kind of video editing trickery and manipulation in it. Nothing is entirely as it's seen. It's been slowed down, or there's borders top and bottom to make it look kind of widescreen cinematic, and they go away at some point. The words come out of the water. There's all sorts of things going on. There's lens flare, there's bloom effects. Every single frame of that video. It would be very boring and no one would watch it, but I have been tempted to make it. But it didn't really work that well as a YouTube video intro. It's not in keeping with it. And part of me doesn't really care, because as I said, I'm in it to make videos, not necessarily make YouTube friendly videos. So in this new intro, I set myself a target of only 30 seconds. Now, somewhat to get round that, I made 4 video bars that kind of take up part of the screen with the carp in the background. And there's actually over a minute of actual video content in a 30 second clip. And I sort of tied it in with the background footage of the fish, which was from 2020, I think, maybe even 2019, which forms part of the logo. So with a bit of timing and editing, it can merge into the logo. So I'm pretty pleased, and it's a little bit more user-friendly, which is good. Right, my next video and my next comment was on a short that I put out about the tempest. So I've been having some problems with the tempest, because the water doesn't go through any other mechanical filtration. Well, half the water doesn't before it gets to the tempest. Large detritus, like bits of algae or bits of plant matter, have gotten into the tempest and aren't shifted by normal tempest cleaning. And as it builds up over time, it collects the dirt that would normally be got rid of by the normal cleaning, and it collects in that, and that doesn't flush as well, and it got really bad. Now, Scorpio J commented, "Hi, I love your natural pond." Thank you very much. I just say I don't think tempest should be used standalone, as it's a polisher, so it needs another form of mechanical filtration before it, ideally. And Scorpio J is not wrong. Really, it does work better as a polisher, where it comes almost at the end of any mechanical filtration. However, if you look at the Evolution Aqua Tempest official manual, they do some examples of how to use your tempest, for example, and it's on a smaller pond like a fry pond or a quarantine pond, where it's the only type of filtration. So I absolutely agree with Scorpio J. It does work better when it's not like that, but they advertise it as being able to handle it, and it can't really. Now, I will talk about this more in the summer review, where I'll do a little review of the Tempest specifically. And it does find it hard to handle those larger amounts, and that would be mitigated slightly if it was easier to clean Tempests when it gets clogged and the normal cleaning doesn't work, but it's a bit of a pain. But I will go into more detail about that in the summer review video. Now the next video is a short video again called Pump Down But the Fish Are Thriving. It's basically a video I made because my Evolution Aqua, and it sounds like I've got beef with Evolution Aqua, but I really haven't. Their after sales stuff has been really good in trying to sort the problem with my pump, but the pumps stopped working and erroring and tripping my electrics and all sorts. And I haven't quite solved it yet as time of making this video, but I was a bit, you know, just a bit grumpy about it really. So I did a little video of the fish being nice and happy instead. And on that, Koi Fish Johnny, who is an amazing YouTuber actually. We've got very different ponds, but I like his kind of attitude to it all, and I like his kind of positivity and humility. It's great. And he said, nice mate, and love the sound of water, which is true. Running water does make a really nice sound, and thank you for that, Johnny. What I would say is, until very recently, and again I have been honest about this and spoken about this, is very often when I was filming the pond in the garden, the sound you'd hear wouldn't necessarily be live. So the running water sound would actually be a recording of the pond. And partly it was that problems I had with my iPhone and sound recording, and also the amount of buses you get going past and various other noises. So often it would be, it would be sound of my pond, but it would be previously recorded sound that I'd dub over it basically. But yeah, that is a good sound, thank you. Right, now I'll go back a little bit and I'll go back to some comments on episode 89, which was pond design and fish welfare. Now, so this was a video about how I think pond design can either help or hinder the stress levels of fish and why that's important. Stephen Lane again. Great to see you back and looking well. Thank you, Stephen. Your pond is looking good. Personally, I'm not a fan of unplanted concrete aquariums. Great for us watching fish, but not so much for the fish. I'd be interested to know if there are any difference in the age a fish lives to in a more natural pond compared to an unplanted pond. My pond is rectangle, mainly because it's built from sleepers, but it has a planted island and several marginal plant baskets, making it look more natural. This means it's not so easy to keep clean and difficult at times to net fish. I definitely have that problem too. It's also on 2 levels, which adds to the problem. But most importantly, the fish seem to like it. They're always trying to find food in the overhanging leaves, and cover is never far away if they feel unsafe. Everyone wants something different from their pond, so it's always down to your own personal choice. I prefer a natural looking pond. And I pretty much agree with everything Stephen said there. Thank you very much. I found also in this quite hot weather we've been having, because my pond always gets some shade on some part of the pond. I don't think it's any time of day or type of sunlight. Maybe in the winter on a really sunny day when there's no leaves on the tree, but by and large it's always got some shade. And I found when I go out to the pond, or if I'm watching the pond on CCTV, very often in the sunnier parts of the day, they'll be in some shade and in the darker areas of the pond. So I do think it really helps them having a natural environment. I think for most animals, a natural environment is going to make them feel more relaxed and confident. And we can debate how much, I guess, the fish need that compared to more complex animals. Once again, Low Magro from French Connections replied, so enjoyed this video. Pond water, fish keeping, such a mixed bag of different practices, just because sometimes because of the different fish we keep or the shape of the pond, different food, different filtration system. Absolutely. It's very complicated how all the different factors and ways of having fish and keeping water, logo, can change lots of different things and cause things to be easier or more difficult. So many talk about stressing fish, yet I feel don't put any thoughts about netting a fish to show it or see it closer. Netting because something is drastically wrong is something. Netting for the sake of it can cause so many damages, and it can take a very long time for a fish to recover. Netting right in the middle of the feeding season is not good at all. Netting in the middle of the winter can be catastrophic. I do, however, think that fish or birds need to have that element of natural stress in them, more than in mammals, in order to survive. I agree with her about netting. Now, and she's probably right about netting in the middle of the feeding season, even though I'm probably going to do something similar a bit. And I'll explain that in my next video about why I might be, but I can't disagree with her. Another comment from Steve Sanderson Art. A lot of very good points. You have to wonder why almost every koi keeper on YouTube seems to suffer from parasites every summer. We know stressed fish are far more susceptible to disease and parasites. I believe overstocking is a major issue with the majority of koi keepers. Also probably weakened immune systems due to years of selective breeding. I think, having had 2 years running with parasites, I'm not sure. I'm not sure where that lies. I do think that the biggest determining factor on whether you get parasites or not is adding new fish or new living stuff, even if it's plants, to a pond. I think that's probably the biggest risk factor, whatever kind of pond you've got. I think koi probably become more ill with any particular condition than wild strain carp like mine. I think they probably are a little bit weaker, a little bit more fragile because of the selective breeding over generations and generations. Whereas wild strain carp, you know, my carp have had parasites a few times, and apart from the fact they'll do some flashing and a lot of jumping, they seem to do more jumping than koi, I think. You wouldn't know they're ill. You really wouldn't, in terms of their activity levels and their eating and their general behaviour and their confidence levels and all of those things. You wouldn't really know they're ill. So I think there are differences between koi and wild strain carp. But having said that, in regards to stress, wild strain carp are generally more nervous and easily spooked than koi are as well. So it's a bit of swings and roundabouts. Green Machine Sweden. Well spoken, Andy. Fish have much more delicate feelings than we attribute them. I rescued a surgeon fish from a far too small aquarium where it's just swimming round and round, the only rock in there. In my tank it did the same for 6 months, just swimming around one rock. Clearly stressed and not well, but after a while it recovered and started to act normally. Yeah, thanks for that. I think that's exactly right. I think the environment can really stress fish out, and I think we underestimate how much what happens to a fish can really affect its well-being. Right then, on to the competition, which was part of that episode. So there were, let me just do a quick count, 7 entries, and I'll go through all of the guesses. So the question was, how many fish have I got in my pond? And I was honest and said that because I'm not entirely sure how many rudd fry I've got in my pond, I think it's around 22. I wasn't really sure how many fish I had, but I put it out there for people to guess. Now, Stephen Lane said, I think you have 37 fish in your pond. Carol Lysett said she thinks she had 25. Lowe said 37 as well. Koi Run, Sydney, said 20. Steve Anderson Art guessed at 28. Green Machine Swindon said 23 fish. And Annalisa says around 27. So, everybody's wrong. Everybody's wrong. Right, so I've got 22 rudd fry. Could be slightly more, could be slightly less, but it's around 22. I don't think I've lost any, but I haven't really counted them. I've got 14 adult rudd. I've got 1 crucian carp, 1 tench, and 4 carp, which gives a grand total of 42 fish. So the nearest was Stephen Lane at 37 and Lowe Magro at 37. But I've got more than 7 stickers. I want a couple more for things. But as a thank you to everyone who's entered, and all these people that have entered this competition also regularly comment on my videos, I'm going to send out stickers to everybody. So if you still would like those stickers and you had a guess, could you email me somewhere where I can send them, an address I can send them to. My email should be in the About section on YouTube. I will double check after I've made this video that it definitely is there. Hopefully I'll put some text there to confirm that. Yeah, just send me an email with an address I can send the stickers to, and I'll send them off to all of you. So Stephen, Carol, Lowe, Sydney at Koi Run, Steve Standerson, Green Machine Sweden, and Annalisa, send me an address and I shall send you some stickers. Probably only 1. I haven't counted them, but maybe 2 if I've got enough. But you'll definitely all get 1. And thank you very much for entering. Now, this is probably the final video before my summer review video, which is going to take a lot of editing. There's a lot of hours of footage, and if I put it all in and devoted as much time to each topic as I did on a normal video, it's probably going to be film length, but I will try to cut it back. I was tempted to make it into 2 parts, but I don't think I will. But anyway, I've got one thing to do, and that is the controversial netting my fish a little bit early in the year, which I will talk about and explain. And then it's a question of getting everything edited together, do a bit of talking to camera like I am now, do a bit of voiceover for some of the stuff that I'm not talking to camera about, and then I'll release it. It may be all in 4K, might be all in 4K. I think I filmed it all in 4K, so it might be my first really long 4K video, which will stress my computer out, I think, editing it. Anyway, in the meantime, I might do a couple of clip videos or some short videos. And if you don't already follow me on Instagram or TikTok, I'll probably be putting content out on there as well, either just photos or some videos. If you're not already subscribed, please do. I have snuck up, I think, to 485 subscribers. My subscriber count has kind of gone up faster, even though I've been making less videos. Is that telling me something? Is that telling me the way forward is less but better? I think it probably is. So I'm only 15 away from 500, which I'm really excited about, because at 500 you get a community tab, which I think will be super useful. So if you want to, prompt some of your friends to subscribe, that'd be great. If you're not already subscribed, please think about doing it. And I will see you next time.